Some legends, despite the scale of their exploits, are fated to wallow forever in obscurity. This is one such legend. Voiced by Michael Dorn of Star Trek fame, the Warrior King's righteous quest to save his home would cross the barriers between multiple doomed universes. And by doomed, I mean cancelled by the USA Network. His journey would begin with his world driven to the brink, besieged by a group of dragon-riding wizards.
Without the power of the orb to sustain Warrior's world, shall be forced to leave, stay and perish. Then, it shall be time for you to return.
Forced to leave his people behind, the king is bound to the life-giving orb and steps into a trans-dimensional portal where no wizard may ponder it. Or at least he would have done if he were fast enough.
No! Follow it, my liege. Find it wherever it lands in time and space. Your world awaits your return, O mighty warrior king.
So, where does this portal lead, I hear you ask?
And that's something you won't hear from anyone else on the internet. Live it up. Enjoy. So with that, I'd like to thank my Street Fighter The Animated Series, Season 2, Episode 22, The Warrior King. Landing in the Indian state of Comfort, the orb is found by a group of local farmers, and eventually makes its way into the hands of their kind-hearted prince, Chao. However, a certain megalomaniacal third party has other plans for it.
Bison!
With its newfound power, your country can now emerge from its years of poverty and despair and into an era of riches and prosperity.
Granting everybody a display of fertility, wow, I could have worded that better, M. Bison positions himself as a benevolent, if not financially motivated, force for good.
The rest of the world has ignored this historically impoverished nation. Now it seems only fair they pay for its assistance. Assistance for which they will beg on their knees.
Bison confides in both Sagat and Zangief, who, once again, is evil in this show because Russian, I guess, that he still intends to conquer the world. He just hasn't ascertained the full extent of the orb's power yet. But, before he can, Street Fighter gets involved.
Investigate, but until Bison makes a move, hands off.
Are you telling me I have to be nice to that monster?
No, I'm saying play by the rules.
Chun-Li refuses to put her quest of vengeance on hold. However, before she's forced to endure the brunt of the orb's power, the Warrior King finally arrives to claim it back, despite M. Bison's incredibly powerful face.
The orb belongs to me!
And who are you?
A scuffle for the orb commences, with all parties falling into a lake, and Sagat being way too happy with himself over catching a fish. The violent conflict is caught on camera, allowing Guile, Ken, and Ryu to take action. But the Warrior King and Chun-Li make for a solid enough team to handle their own, and even exchange some romantic interest.
Verily, I have never seen a woman with your gift for combat, or with your charm and beauty.
I can't believe it. We're in the middle of battle and you're hitting on me?
Despite Sagat's earthbending, the duo are able to make their escape.
So your subjects face extinction? All because of the man who killed my father?
Killed your father? If I was not bound to my quest for the orb, I would be your champion and wreak vengeance upon the knave who committed such an outrage.
They don't make him like you anymore.
Honestly, these two are adorable. I actually ship them. Bison waves them off in favor of holding the entire world hostage, unlocking the orb's ability to control weather on a global scale. Which might just be one of the most busted abilities in all of fiction.
New York.
Tokyo!
city. Yes! Yes!
Bison erects a great stone wall around Comfer, making grounded entry impossible for the rest of the Street Fighters. However, the power couple do not let this faze them.
I'm gonna die in my Street Fighter uniform, not wearing a prom dress.
Spoken like a warrior true.
Hey, dude, I get that you're like, evil and stuff, but in this fight that you are currently engaged in, what tactical advantage would shooting that child have given you?
If not for the peril of my doomed world, I would stay with you forever. But I must retrieve the orb. I can never forget my quest.
Nor I mine. But if we have nothing else, we have this moment.
Oh, this moment is really sweet. Don't ruin it with janky animation, Street Fighter. Come on! With the world's leaders all surrendering to Bison, the world is pretty much his. He kind of wins this one. However, the power couple then swoop in at the very last moment for one last tussle.
Without the orb, your world is doomed. You must go.
The chronicles will record the tale of the champion of the Warrior King and her beauty and bravery.
With the Warrior King blasted into a new foreign world, Bison, Sagat, and Zangief are forced to flee, as they are directly attacked with an airstrike. That's excessive, but okay. Meanwhile, Chun-Li is forced to bear the loss of her newfound love.
It looks like you've been working out some major frustrations here. Maybe you, need a boyfriend.
I already have one. Hope to meet him someday.
Said meeting, sadly, never came to pass, and the Warrior King's next destination would be one that I am wholly unfamiliar with. That's not even one of my almosts. That's a cartoon based on a superhero comic series. Why is that? The Savage Dragon, Season 2, Episode 8, Endgame.
Sick of riding them idiot buses and tired of the stinking rat politicians lying all the time.
Jim Cummings' hobo is mad about the woke leftists. And all the better for the Fiend, a revenant who feeds off of atrocious vibes.
The power of this one's hate fills me to the brim.
On the flip side, you have this unhoused Irish fella he was hurling abuse at, who finds the Orb of Power and realises that it makes a really nice source of warmth. Bit less ambitious than Bison, but, at least his heart's in the right place.
This one's a keeper.
Attention all vehicles, Skid Row disturbance, St. Aberdeen Soup Kitchen, possible hate crime in progress.
A hate crime against the homeless? Nobody could be that low.
Except maybe our old friend, the Fiend.
Oh yeah, speaking of Jim Cummings, this is the dragon of Image Comics fame. Y'all know Spawn, right? You've heard of Spawn. Yeah, it's that universe. They work together sometimes, just kind of collab.
Get onto the street, you lousy freak!
Scared and confused by the inherent hostility of the Chicago intersection he finds himself on, the newly arrived Warrior King lashes out at the vehicles. Rightfully so, as they keep trying to run him over.
Okay, Fiend. Time for you and me to...
Wait a minute, that Joker's not the Fiend.
Only a god could survive such a blow.
Thanks for the flattery, but it'll get you nowhere.
Okay, that was beautifully delivered. I already kind of love this show. It has this edgy 90s feel to it. that I can't quite describe but can't get enough of.
My staff!
Forget the stick, pal. Where you're going, they don't even let you keep your shoelaces.
With the attack on the soup kitchen already having come and gone, the dragon takes the Warrior King into custody. But unfortunately, the orb soon finds itself within the wrong hands once again.
Such kindness, such charity. It must not go unpunished.
The Fiend is the most edgelord villain I think I've ever seen. Dude literally gets fueled by hate crimes. Give him the internet as we know it today. This guy will be unstoppable. In fact, let me just look up his backstory. I'm curious what could lead someone to this position.
A few inches later.
Okay, so stay with me on this one. Dude got cuckolded by the dragon, committed a murder-suicide, formed a pact with the devil, and became an amnesiac hate demon. That is fucking incredible. That is amazing.
An alien from another planet looking for some kind of orb sounds a little preposterous.
Look, Frank, I know this story sounds crazy, but I've got a hunch that this guy is on the level.
The Warrior King calls his staff over, giving enough credence to his story that the dragon is willing to help him. And all the better, since the Fiend starts using the orb to absorb hateful people, rather than simply possessing them.
And who's this gorgeous specimen? And where have you been all my life?
I was born light years before your life even began.
Oh, the poetic type. I like that.
Give the guy a break, Rita. He's going through a tough time.
I am spoken for.
Oh, he's talking about Chun-Li. And like, a casual viewer would have no way of knowing that unless they were there at the time in the 90s, watching these all in order. Anyways, the cops also treat the Warrior King to chili dogs, which, personally, I think is their way of making up for the fact that his quest never takes him to Mobius. Despite how incredibly amazing that would have been.
That's your usual?
Well, I'm trying to go light. I need to get my waistline back down to a svelte 56 inches.
This downtime is really making me want to sit down and actually watch this show. Surprise! Gangbanger attack!
Hey, look at me. I'm Jimi Hendrix. Hey, what's going on here? Now, I'll take you all. Yes.
Holy shit! That is genuinely fucked!
No, it can't be. Dragon.
It seems you are out of luck. Did you mean to say out of cuck?
The dragon, his partner Alex, and the Warrior King all pursue the Fiend to the state penitentiary, where he goes on a terrifying absorption spree.
The whole place is in lockdown. We are never gonna get in there.
Luckily, I know how to pick a lock.
All who oppose me shall suffer a fate worse than death. Let all the hatred of the universe pour into me and couple with my power!
Despite the sheer indescribable power they're up against, the dragon and the Warrior King do not back down, the former doing his best to simply distract the Fiend, while the latter imbues the orb with the cleansing power of his staff.
No! What's happening? No! Come back! Don't leave me!
The orb is sent into another vortex, along with a few errant lost souls, and the dragon is all for going with the Warrior King in order to bring it back.
But if I could bring back that orb, I could get rid of guys like the Fiend for good!
It is difficult to eradicate evil from your world. Good and bad exist together, at least for now. Goodbye.
At least we won't be out of work.
The orb's next destination would prove to be especially dangerous, forcing the Warrior King to operate wholly from the shadows. Defenders was left to die, not even gaining the traction of Street Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. Episode 9, Resurrection. The orb falls into the hands of Shao Kahn, who comprehends the vastness of its power much faster than his predecessors. He bestows it onto a freshly resurrected Shang Tsung, as a means of getting the jump on both the Defenders and Raiden.
Fail me again, you will be banished to the void. For eternity.
I will gladly take my revenge on Raiden and his minions before I destroy the Emperor Shao Kahn.
Bro, you barely left the room and he's already planning to backstab you. Why would you grant this malevolent bitch infinite power? I think I take it back. Maybe he doesn't quite comprehend the orb.
Hey, you okay, man?
Casual reaction. Oh, I missed you, Defenders. Much like Bison's reign of terror on the capital cities, Shang Tsung completely messes with the Earth's climates.
This phenomenon is connected to you somehow, isn't it? Come on, I'm not challenging you, man. I'm genuinely concerned.
Damn, Jax really is the best character in this show, isn't he? He even goes so far as to fake an illness and bow out of the call to action so that he can take care of Raiden. Guy is insane. Honestly, he deserved his retirement.
I feel like I'm losing my powers. Happy?
Hey, I'm on your side. But how are we gonna handle this?
Look, I'm not a stranger to being powerless. You know, in Outworld I have no power. But this is Earth, where I draw my greatest strength. Something is definitely interfering with nature.
The low-key friendship between these two is really sweet, and makes that one moment from episode 12 way more powerful than it already was.
Combat time!
We meet again. For the last time. Shang Tsung, it can't be.
With his own earthbending, Shang Tsung is able to drop the Defenders into a fissure, demanding that Raiden 1v1s him, else he'll close it and kill them all.
Earthrealm possesses great power, but it is also remarkably fragile. Too few mortals realize that over 100 species perish from the planet every day.
Man, that's unreal.
Dude, I just looked up that species thing he was talking about. That's true. That's like 100%. Everything he said was true. Except it's 150.
Boy, Raiden, just buy me a few more minutes.
Raiden's bid to keep Shang distracted while Jax rescues the Defenders only lasts for so long. And in his rage, the sorcerer decides to close the fissure.
Raiden, stop the fissure from closing if you can!
I don't know why you couldn't do it, but okay then. The result is the same. The fissure stops just short of crushing the Defenders, and Raiden decides to then flex on Shang by beating his ass without any lightning powers.
I'm going to let the Emperor deal with you.
Recognizing just how powerful the orb is, Raiden opens a portal of his own to cast it away. The perfect time for you-know-who to dive in after it. I'm starting to think the Mortal Kombat writers were a little bit too prideful to introduce a hulking anachronistic barbarian into their canon. Which is wild to me, because this is where the Warrior King would have fit in the most.
Where did you send the orb?
Into space, where it should be safe from evil.
Yes. space, where nobody can hear you scream. Mainly because the sound mixing is so fucking terrible.
I'll try to slow down the video. Understood, payback.
Wing Commander Academy, Episode 8, Recreation. Amidst the usual cacophony, I managed to glean that Archer is still very much averse to the idea of snuffing out Kilrathi ships, doing so only when absolutely necessary. Overcoming her bout of grief, she assists the pilots in salvaging an unassuming pod. And upon inspecting said pod...
Looks like somebody's home after all.
Seal the ship until we can arrange to pass him on to Confederation scientific operations.
Yes, sir.
Keeping their new passenger in cryosleep, the crew of the Tiger's Claw head towards Oasis, an anomalous planet that flourishes despite its close proximity to the sun. I wonder how that could be. And funnily enough, as they get closer to it, the Warrior King is out of fucking patience, lashing out at anyone who stands between him and his goddamn orb, no matter how advanced they may be. He downs Maniac, threatens Tolwyn into inaction, that takes some goddamn balls, and he even prepares to land a death blow on Maverick, until...
I know you. So long ago. Oh, it cannot be.
This line was genuinely kind of intriguing to me. However, once Dub K is pacified by Grunt, the crew just kind of move on from him, locking him up and continuing their business on Oasis. Because of course they goddamn would. This nutter just attacked us for no reason.
The Maker fell from the sky, and our world was recreated. The hot wind became a cool breeze. Rains fell. The land turned green with new life. Our lives were no longer filled with the fight to survive. We gave up hatred and war, and celebrated the gift of life our world had been given. We share that gift with you.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, sir, I guess.
The peace-loving Oasians offer stories and hugs to all who visit them, be they human or Kilrathi. The pilots all engage in some thoughtful conversation, Maverick struggling to get the mysterious warrior off his mind, while Maniac and Archer talk about their complicated feelings on killing.
Doesn't what we have to do ever bother you?
Thinking about it would just slow me down, throw me off my game.
Is that all it is? A game? Who's the best?
Hey, it's all I've got. If I'm not the best, I'm not anything.
Oh no. Wing Commander, you can't just make me feel bad for Maniac like that. Man just let the mask drop ever so slightly and changed my entire view of him. Anyways, he then decides to let off some steam by ignoring the peace mandate and antagonizing a Kilrathi.
We are here for recreation, not fighting.
Hey, going hand to paw with you furballs is my idea of a good time.
But you've obviously never done it.
The Kilrathi lets slip that he's here to collect a sphere before scarpering off, while Maverick questions the muscle-bound alien aboard the Tiger's Claw.
I knew a soldier long ago on a place called Earth. His name was Blair.
There have been a lot of soldiers in my family. What are you seeking? Is it the Maker?
The Maker.
Realizing that he's found the Orb of Power after 200 years of searching, the Warrior King breaks out and forces Maverick at gunpoint to take him to it.
Or there will be one less soldier in your family.
On the flight back to Oasis, Maverick and the Warrior King do exchange some pleasantries, chief among them being this exchange, which very much leaves me curious if there's more to this entire quest than we originally thought.
Was it war? Two great nations struggling? Or was it a warlord? A tyrant?
No, not a tyrant. I wanted to end the fight, the chaos. I tried to save my world, and instead,
It is my fault it was destroyed.
Methinks the former tyrant doth protest too much. Also, I just realised this episode has got a really clever title. They're on recreational leave, and the Warrior King wants to recreate his planet. That's a good pun. Whoever does the titles for Wing Commander, you deserve a cookie.
Don't you know what'll happen to this planet without the orb to protect it?
I am fighting for my world.
By grabbing the orb, the Warrior King directly threatens the planet Oasis, making himself an enemy to everyone. Archer takes a potshot at him for having taken Maverick hostage, and the Kilrathi swoop in soon after to take the orb for themselves.
There is no peace. The fighting never ends.
Recognizing them as another force for evil, much like M. Bison, the Fiend, and Shang Tsung before them, the Warrior King annihilates the Kilrathi pilot. Just straight up kills the guy. However, before he can leave for good...
We can't let you take the Maker.
Do not force me to destroy you!
Look at that sun. If you take the Maker, this place, this paradise, will be a barren rock again. The power to create is greater than the power to destroy. We have plenty of weapons, but nothing that can create the beauty of this world.
Only now does the weight of everything finally weigh on the Warrior King's shoulders. The continued misuse of the orb may have caused the loss of countless innocent lives across multiple universes, but trying to bring his planet back with it would lead to a whole lot more. It would make him no better than the villains that he'd been fighting off. And so, in an act of true selflessness, true heroism, he severs his connection to the orb.
Take care that you do not forget why you fight.
With Oasis left to flourish, as it should, the Warrior King helps himself to the hijacked ship, setting off onto new, untold adventures.
Where does he think he's going? Same place we're all going. Forward.
This ending really stuck the landing. I had a sinking feeling that the Warrior King's arc would be left entirely without a proper conclusion, not dissimilar to most of the shows that he crossed over with. But by choosing to forsake his wild goose chase of a quest, he ironically gave it the most poignant and satisfying conclusion that it could possibly have gotten. While I would be all for seeing the Warrior King crossover with some other shows I've reviewed, or just have him reappear in any way on the USA Network, I'm glad that we got what we did. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really fucked with time during this framing device, and I need to go make sure I don't paradox myself out of existence. Ta-ra!